This week, Bomber Thompson is our special guest on The Bomber Show. We tune into the sounds of the young Warriors. The coach takes us through the team for the trip to Perth, and we go back in time to the most famous Eagles clash of them all.
Firstly, it was a very ordinary kick coming towards me. Anyone with half a decent skill level would have put it out in front and probably chest high.
Hello and welcome to The Bomber Show. I'm Sarah Jones and we have a huge show lined up for you today. Helping me go through it all is a staff from the Essendon Football Club, Angus Monfries. Angus, thanks for joining us. It's a big week this week against the West Coast Eagles over in Perth.
Yeah, it's a huge week for us. We had a good win last week against the Western Bulldogs and we'll hopefully have another win over in Perth.
A couple of weeks ago we sat here and we were lamenting the fact that the team had so many injuries and so many players unavailable for selection, but thankfully at the moment that situation's been rectified a bit, and if we have a look at some of the names that were available for selection, there some pretty handy people for the coaching staff to assess this week.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's the thing about footy. You get injuries some weeks and then you get guys back, and at the moment we're sort of starting to get a few guys back and it's looking really good.
And then our wish list, if only these guys were available for selection. How's Courtney Dempsey tracking in his recovery from that serious knee injury?
Yeah, Courtney and Jason both going really well. You know, they're working really hard in the gym and trying to get their legs nice and strong, and hopefully we'll see a really good game from them in the next year.
The record against the Eagles at Subiaco isn't great. 2001 was the last time we had a win there. What can we do to change that this week in what is such an important game?
Yeah, I think playing in the State's really difficult. I think we need to get off to a really good start and, you know, silence the crowd early, kick a few early goals, and that'll hopefully put us in good stead.
Well, some people have to learn about selection on the radio, television or even in newspapers, but you on The Bomber Show can get the words straight from the coach's mouth in James Hird.
Round 22, Essendon versus the West Coast Eagles over at Subiaco. Obviously the Eagles one of the biggest improvers in the competition so far this year and a big challenge for any team travelling away to Subiaco. Their big man department is the best in the AFL. Their forward press and their pressure in their forward line is fantastic. So a big game for us and hopefully one we can perform well in. We've brought Tommy Belchambers into the team, Dave Myers into the team and Nathan Lovett-Murray into the team. Unfortunately, Pears and Hurley are out this week, both a bit sore from last week, and Ricky Dyson is our emergency, so he won't play. Yeah, huge game. Obviously the midfield is going to be really important for us to combat them. We think we're pretty structured through the midfield. We think our forward line is still working very well, and we're hoping for a big game over at Subiaco.
Angus, does the coach need a haircut?
I think he does. He's starting to get a few wispy hairs around the ears, so I think he might be time for a trim.
And there are the inclusions, Nathan Lovett-Murray, Myers and Belchambers, Dyson, Hurley and Pears. No major concerns, it sounds, with Pears and Hurley, just a little bit sore and taking precautions at this time of year?
Yeah, I think they're a little bit sore at the moment, so with a big trip to Perth, I think they sort of rest them and get them right for next week.
Dyson Heppel, he has been an absolute revelation this season, obviously one of the stars for the Rising Star and one of the favourites for that. He's been such an amazing player for Bombers fans to get excited about the future, and hopefully he has a big one this weekend.
Yeah, he's been fantastic all year. I think for a first-year player to come in and to play every game this year really shows his durability, and he's been fantastic.
Well, as we know, players get up to all sorts of things on their days off, and we're now going to have a look at something that Nathan Lovett-Murray has been entertaining himself with and keeping himself very busy as he puts dips his toe into the water of the music industry.
Sometimes I just wonder why.
Yeah, Playback Records was started 3 years ago, and it was set up to give young Indigenous people a voice for hip-hop music. And I bumped into an old friend of mine, Jimbo Possum Burns, and he was in a band called Young Warriors, and asked him what he was doing. He said he just finished off a CD, and I had to listen to the CD, and it was the first time I heard Indigenous hip-hop, and I loved it, and I loved what it was about, and we needed our own record label, and that's pretty much how Playback Records was set up.
Sometimes I wonder why we have to fuss over shit and get busted on the lip. It starts out with a little conflict.
We've just finished off the recordings for the new album Young Warriors, Standing Strong, which will be coming out at the end of August. We both started off, and I'll probably do more of the management side of things, where Jimbo looks after the musical side of things, the producing and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Then we come together, it's just like,
big hurricane, so watch out.
Aggravation most of the time, then it gets out of line the next day. You think it's all fine now.
Yeah, we've got the Black Boy National Tour, which is kicking off in Brisbane on the 26th of August. We've got Coloured Stone, they're a legendary Indigenous rock band, and also Young Warriors will be supporting them. And we're doing shows in Sydney, Adelaide, Alice Springs, and Melbourne.
There we have it. What do you make of that? It obviously is something really, really worthwhile that he's sinking his teeth into. Is he giving CDs out to the guys at the club?
No, I think it's really great that Nat Rat's getting out there amongst the Aboriginal community and sort of setting up that sort of stuff, but he's very tight with the old giving out of CDs. If the boys want to get a CD, they've got to dig into their pockets.
Can he sing himself? I notice he's not actually in the band.
Well, I haven't heard too much of Nat Rat singing, but I'm sure he'd be fine.
Beautiful. OK, well, a quick reminder that while the boys are kicking goals on the field, the club needs you to keep the scoreboard ticking over in search of $5 million from members and fans to build its new state-of-the-art training facility. The website details are flightplan.com and you can call the club for more information. Well, we've got plenty more to give on the Bomber Show, including Angus Monfries calling the plays of the week, and Essendon's #1 co-pilot, Bomber Thompson, joins us right here in the studio.
Energy prices are on the rise, and we're all aware of the benefits of using solar to power our home. True Value Solar are the solar specialists and one of Australia's largest installers of solar power. So call True Value Solar for your solution today.
Yeah, you tell him, Hurdy.
Call 13 Solar for the best deals under the sun.
Television is about to change forever. The revolutionary new Samsung Smart TV will immerse you in full HD 3D vision that will take your breath away. You'll be able to access your compatible multimedia library with Search All, along with your favourite websites. The new Samsung Smart TV. Immerse yourself in a world of endless entertainment.
Yes, the True Value Solar Man certainly has the run of the place at Windy Hill. Well, welcome back to the Bomber Show, where it is absolutely fantastic to have Mark Thompson with us. Bomber, welcome along. How much has your life changed since this time last year and your involvement with the Essendon Football Club? I imagine more time for family and friends and doing the things in life that you love aside from football.
Yeah, it's changed a lot, Sarah, and it's all for the good. You know, I'm really happy with the decision and just find more time to do a lot more things and you think a bit clearer and life's a bit more enjoyable. Has it almost reignited your passion for the game, being able to take that step back? Yeah, it's funny. I've watched more footy this year than I have probably for the last 5 years. I just seem to, you know, it's on TV and seem to be watching it again, which is a great thing. How does it work in a practical sense with Hurdy? What kind of things do you do during the week to get him developing, I suppose, as a senior coach? Look, I'm part of the match committee and all the meetings, the tactical meetings and everything else. And to be honest, like, he's a really quick learner, so he's not going to want me for long. But at the moment, he probably still needs a little bit, and he just uses me as a sounding board, really. And so does that change much on match day? Does the split of who does what change when the pressure cooker environment of that coach's box heats up? Yeah, it's just probably having an experienced hand, and like everything can happen on a footy field. I've probably experienced. I've made some good decisions and some bad ones, and probably made them many times. So when something arises, you know, first year coach, you can probably make a lot of mistakes. But you know, having me and Brendan McCartney, who's had, you know, probably 15 years experience too, it's good support for him. Gus, how have you enjoyed having Bomber Thompson on board? Obviously a premiership coach at Geelong and a former Essendon champion in his own right. Helped you get in the midfield, Gus.
Yeah, he's been fantastic. me and Bomber go through my video each week, and yeah, just the way that he's teaching me new things that I wouldn't have even thought of has been fantastic. So I'm really enjoying it.
The list, Bomber, and where it can go to in the next few years. I mean, you said you might not stick around for too much longer.
I said Hurdy mightn't want me around.
That you'll stay. We don't want you to go. Where can you see this list going to in the next couple of years?
Oh, look, we've got a lot of work in front of us, but there's a lot of potential here, and we just have to maximise that. We've got some players, I think, capable of playing in Premiership, no question. We have to recruit well. We have to continue to develop every player on the list, and it's got potential. If we do a lot right, then we're aiming to be one of the sides that are competing for grand final.
Well, we love the fans' involvement in the Bomber Show, and you can always hashtag the Bomber Show to have your involvement. We've got a question here. Is Michael Hurley the best swing player in the AFL, forward or back? Which role suits him more, Bomber?
No, look, I love him as a backman, and Brendan McCartney, who's a forward coach, loves him as a forward. Kicking goals wins matches, so I think the way he's played recently, he's certainly going to play a bit there.
You've obviously had a lot to do with some really exciting players, Jimmy Bartel, Gary Ablett, Stevie Johnson, etc. Where does Michael Hurley, in just his short career, where does he fit into the players you've seen?
I think he's going to end up a very, very, very good player. Yeah, I think he's going to end up one of the competition better players. He has a real presence, he's skillful, he's really competitive, so he's got all those qualities that are going to make him a very good player.
Sounds good. Well, Bomber, I think you're going to enjoy this one because Essendon has a deep history against the Eagles. In fact, you were in red and black for a lot of it, but I doubt you remember the now infamous jacket-waving clash in the same intimate details as two of your old teammates who are very happy to take a walk down memory lane this week.
I recall it round 16, 1993. I think we were around the middle of the mark, around the 7th position. I knew they were above us at the time. They had a lot of very, very good players, established, experienced champions in their side. We had, by contrast, a good, solid core leadership group with Bomber and Mark Harvey, myself, Gary O'Donnell, Michael Long. Then a mid-range, you've got the Buicks and the Grenvols, these sorts of guys. Dean Wallace, some ordinary players, but certainly some great characters.
Buick kicked it to me, took a marks. I turned around and I kicked the ball towards Paul Salmon's area, and Djakovic, he'd been playing on, who'd actually dominated the game on Fish, and Fish hadn't really touched the ball all day, give away a free kick. So,
firstly, it was a very ordinary kick coming towards me. Anyone with half a decent skill level would have put it out in front and probably chest height. Let's not forget, back in those days, they didn't actually do the stat for goal assists. So I think I had about 12 goal assists at that stage.
I just went back and looked at Paul Salmon's stats for that game. 5 kicks, 2 handballs, 7 possessions for 1 goal, 3.
I was a goal-kicking mess leading up to that game. I think I'd only kicked about 1 goal, 12 or 13 in the preceding few games, and I just had this feeling it was I was a good chance, and I kicked the footy and it was a pretty wonky. It wasn't an end-over-end drop punt.
Bombers in front.
It was not, but it was sweet, It just hit the flush of the foot and went through midway at the post, and I just watched it sail through. It was sort of wobbling a bit, and all I remember from there is the relief.
It's quite interesting that when he actually waved the jacket and looked across and gave us the meanest, dirtiest stare to someone in that direction, and history might say it might have been towards Mick Malthouse.
It's just wonderful to see, since that game, that both clubs engaged the waving of the jacket. I just think it's great symbolism for a wonderful contest, and we snuck through on the important one that year and won a premiership.
I have never seen Sheedy like that, except for those premierships in the 80s.
That's one of my favourite moments in football. Bomber, how much has footy changed since '93? We saw 2 of the great characters there in Dean Wallace and also the Big Fish.
It's changed a lot, hasn't it, really? Yeah. The shorts and the gear that they're wearing. But the style of footy is just incredible now compared to what it was then.
Bomber, it has been great to have you involved in the show. Good luck for this weekend. Hopefully we can bring down the West Coast Eagles.
Yeah, hopefully we can.
Okay. Well, still to come, the tweet of the week. President David Evans and Gus has a little go at commentating. But first, an update on Michael Long and the Gen for Men program. Longy says he's lost plenty, and we'll get him in the studio in the next few weeks to check out his progress. But in the meantime, you can catch him and Scotty Cummings on the website, thematchcommittee.com.
Been a long time since you've been on a date, Longy. I meant to say Michael.
Yeah, 1982.
What did you do?
We went to dinner, nice restaurant, and then I took her home.
And the magic happened?
We watched highlights of me playing for St Mary's. Great idea.
Energy prices are on the rise, and we're all aware of the benefits of using solar to power our home. True Value Solar is Australia's largest solar specialist, so they can install a system that will really save you. What you do with those savings each year is up to you.
It's official. The carbon tax will mean rising electricity prices. With thousands of dollars of government rebates still available, there's never been a better time to go solar. Call 13 Solar for the best deals under the sun.
What if I told you I've signed a Norm Smith medalist and a Coleman medalist?
Great.
Do you want to meet him?
I'll be with you in a minute, Coach.
How are we going to get a match fit?
Join Longy and Scotty as they get match fit again. Lose 10 kilos for $10. Call or SMS footy to 1300 4 Jenny.
Will you do with an extra set of hands?
Kyle Reimers, he got on the front foot, attacked it really nicely, Rob, and set up that goal.
He set up their last couple, Luke, Kyle Reimers, and it's amazing what a change of boot colour will do.
Yes, he's gone to the conventional white, which you would have frowned upon once upon a time.
Are you claiming some influence over that, Rob? Or?
White's the new black.
Is it the new black, Gus?
I think it is. I think the black boots are becoming rarer and rarer these days.
Very standard. Only a handful of players in the league using them at the moment. Well, now it's time to hear from the Essendon Football Club chairman, David Evans.
Well, I had one of the highlights of my year on Saturday night, not just because the Bombers won by 49 points against the Bulldogs, but because I decided to sit with a mate of mine behind the Essendon cheer squad on Saturday night, and it was a wonderful experience. Just to experience the passion, the dedication to your football team, and also experience some of the very funny sayings and some of the songs that were sung, and of course that ever popular chant that's now going up around Etihad Stadium, "We are Essendon." And of course, if we continue to perform like that, might do it every second week. So a great experience for the chairman, and something I'm looking forward to doing very soon. Well, you're going to get sick of me saying this, but it's really important that Bomber fans dig deep to help our flight plan. We've started well, our fundraising is going well, but we need to keep the momentum going. We've got a lot of money to raise to ensure that the Essendon Football Club is in a great space when we go to our new facility at Tullamarine. So please continue to give.
Okay, time now for Plays of the Week, and they're pretty good given the win over the Western Bulldogs last week. And Angus Monfries is going to have a little go at commentating, aren't you, Gus?
We'll see how he goes.
And Cramery gets back.
Ball flicks out, Hurley, sidestep, straightens, kicks it from 45. He's done it. He's kicked his fourth, and Essendon are home.
He loves it too. Liberatore again in and under.
Dustin Fletcher, he gets that famous long arm in, punches the ball towards the boundary. What a player, what a man. Jones goes inside, straightens, Fletcher and Hall one-on-one. He's got that arm in again. He's one of my favourite players. What about you, Sarah?
Absolutely, he is a favourite. As long as I can remember barracking for the Bombers, Dustin Fletcher's been playing.
And he's done it again, gets that arm in against Hall. And now we got Stance. I think he had 39 disposals on the weekend, 2 goals. It was a brilliant game. There's a high fly from the young Monfries there. Stanton goes inboard. Fletcher again. Out towards Reimers. Stanton keeps running. Reimers flicks it back to Stanton. Stanton straightens, goes back, stops, props, finds Jeddah.
Good work, Gus. That was very impressive. I think Brian Taylor better look out. You may soon be the AFL's #1 football caller.
I don't know about that, but it was good.
Okay, well, you can now tell us who the winners are in the Facebook poll.
Well, with 64%, no surprise there. We had the great defensive masterclass of Dustin Fletcher. Second there, we had Stance with a 39 disposal performance with 25%. And last we had Hurls with 11% with that brilliant goal.
And Heath wins the Matthew Lloyd. Heath Tunstall wins the Matthew Lloyd book for that one. Okay, now to the tweet of the week. Tyson Slattery, of course, one of the rookie listed players at the club, just got back from a 2-hour walk with the legend of the club, John Killer Kilby. Can you tell us about the role of volunteers at the footy club, Gus?
Yeah, we've got a lot of guys like Killer. He's been there, I think, for 40 years. So I think he got there when he was, 25 years old, and he's been the head trainer for a number of years, and he's always the first at the club, straps your ankles, and always the last to leave. So it's guys like him that put a lot of time into our footy club that makes it so great.
Absolutely. Well, finally, a unique offer for your grand final week calendar. Book now for an early bird price to enjoy a wonderful lunch while watching the Essendon Women's Network Grand Final comedy debate. It is sure to be a great day, and for more details, contact the club. Well, thank you very much for watching. Gus, when do you head off to Perth, and are you all fired up? We need a win. Yeah, we've got training tomorrow morning, and then we head off after that. So, really looking forward to getting over there and getting 4 points. Okay, fingers crossed. Well, remember, the Bombers show will be back next week. In the meantime, hopefully you can catch Essendon scoring a great win over the Eagles.